of the Behind the Manga podcast. I'm your host, MangaAlerts, joined once again by my lovely co-host, Winter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since we did an episode, so it's going to be really interesting. Hopefully, I still got it.
I won't. It's been a pretty busy what
Con
is it?
season.
On con season. And one of the things that we did during con season was drum roll. You can hear me just pounding my desk. Anime Expo. So this is our Anime Expo episode. Now, unlike for those of you who've been here in the past, typically I'm the one in the hot seat, be answering all questions about what we did at Anime Expo and all that fun stuff. But we're switching around because second drum roll, a surprise guest showed up at an Anime Expo for the first time. You want to take a guess who?
I mean, I know who it is.
Oh yeah, who is it then?
Yeah, it was me. So,
Oh,
clearly.
clearly, yeah, you're not wrong. So, guess who is on the opposite side now, and who is going to be in the hot seat? That's right. So for this episode today, Mr. Winter is going to be in the hot seat, answering all the questions that I prepared that he has never seen before,
Nope, not
and
at all.
we'll see how it goes. So, Mr. Winter, are you ready?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So real quick before we begin, if you want to stay up to date on our con coverage, because Jesus, con's been like, I think it's been crazy because we went to Anime Expo, then I went to Otakon, did a couple stuff there, and now just found out that I'm going to Anime NYC. So that's going to be a whole other thing. So please stay tuned for all the con coverage and all the panel transcriptions. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. Again, behindthemanga.com will be where you'll find all that. And also be sure to follow our social medias at Twitter, X, whatever, Blue Sky, Threads, all the good stuff. So, with all that shameless plugging out the way, let's get it started. So, could you describe what it was like to obtain your industry/press badge for those that don't know?
I knew you were going to go with that one first. Uh, it was honestly very frustrating. And apparently I wasn't the only one going through it. But basically with the press badge, filling it out, the everything, that's fine. The problem was obtaining it because like unlike the industry badge, unlike the general badges, you have to go, I think between like, a day or two, starting from like maybe a day or two before the con starts, but you have to go to this line, pick it up. And the first little frustrating part was like, um, with the press badge, I go and I get an Uber to go there, but all of it was blocked off because of how big the con was. So the Uber couldn't actually like drop me off at the point at the like the point nearby like we're supposed to. Partner and I, who also went with us as press for us as well. We got out and we went to we had to like walk all the kind of around. Even though it was like nearby, it was like you had to go all the way out your way to like kind of make a U so you can go in to the lines. Not because the lines were long, but just because like they had it in like a spot. There was no way of like just going across, like crossing through, like, I don't know, pedestals, not pedestals, but like statues or things like that. You had to go all the way, they had all barricaded, so you had to go all the way around. So you get in line, and then the frustrating part came because of the change in how you obtain and activate the badge. Because originally it would, or actually, so now it was like a lot of places, us behind the manga, I think it Cloverworks, Aniplex or slash
It was
Cloverworks.
Clover. Yeah,
Cloverworks, yeah.
yes,
But
yes.
it was
Yep.
Cloverworks, but I think they were under Aniplex or something. they were another one. Yen Press was a third one. I think Manga Mavericks books were also ones, and J18, at least to my knowledge. We all suffered the same issue where we so if you have like your outlet or a company get the badges for everybody, the one who gets the badge for the company itself, so or the outlet themselves, so in our case like behind the manga, it would be tied to the account that the outlet or the company is under. So what that means is that, so for behind the manga, when I did mine, it was for as like behind the manga, it was just using that one. Whereas with alerts, I had sent out one for the people who would be press for us there, right? At the press badges there. So alerts had his own, and he was, through behind the manga, it was fine. It was because it was sent out to alerts to fill out and all of that. Same with my partner, same with some other people we had to help us, get panels to report on. But for mine, it was under the course behind the manga. Sure, the customer name, the information was mine, but the show clicks account was actually alerts because he had created a couple of years ago for when he first started going to cons, specifically AX. So it was a weird, like, well, here's alerts, but it's like, okay, well, here's, winter, but the show clicks one is under alerts. So alert shows it. It's like, well, but the customer stuff is under winter. And it was the whole mix up, like it was a whole mix like that. And it was frustrating because it was like everything was fine. Like, we did the proper thing, but it was just their system just allowed that. And so luckily we got it resolved, but it was really frustrating. And this was something that like we spoke to members of J18 publishing, and they were like, yeah, we went through that. We were talking to, was it Mark, I think, of Yimpress, and
Yes, we
yeah,
spoke with Mark.
Mark of
He's right
Yimpress,
next
and
to
he was,
us.
yeah, because
Yep.
he was on the phone trying to deal with it, and I'm like, yeah, it was so many, like several companies, outlets and stuff who were experiencing this. It was a very frustrating ordeal that wasn't necessary. That did not need to be that much of a hassle. I did put that in the feedback when they asked about it, by the way. Like honestly, I do think
Good,
they
good.
should
I'm
just
glad that you did put that in there because,
I just think they
like
should
you
just
said, like
mail
I
it. Just mail them just like you do the industry, just like you do the general passes. Like the only one you
mhm.
don't pick up, sorry, the only one that they don't mail is the press badges. And it was just like, okay, well, why not? And adding to this situation, which I think you told me this is the first time they've done that, something like this. It was just frustrating. It did not work. I put this in the feedback.
Good, because that's definitely something that's, well, one, not okay, two, very frustrating, and three, especially for like um first time attendees such as yourself, I would think they would make the process a lot
Yeah.
easier and a lot
Now,
less,
I will say
you know.
yeah, yeah. Now, I will say the people who were the employees of this, they were nice. I felt like they were nice. They were patient with the situation, and so it was okay. It wasn't like they were rude or anything. Like no, no, no. They were very nice. They were very patient. But I don't know if that. Well, it seemed like because they literally just got done doing that with someone else. And um, so yeah, that was a thing. But I felt like they were very patient and kind throughout the whole process. I just think that um, Anime Expo needs to fix this process here.
Follow-up question, because
Mhm.
you had an interesting setup, because not only did you get a press, but you also got industry, and you also got yourself a 4-day badge as well too.
Yeah.
So after experiencing Anime Expo, do you feel like that was necessary to have all of
Yes.
those just in case?
Uh,
Or
the
did you
industry
feel like
one, maybe not. I mean, it. I mean, I think it's fine. Maybe I think, but I'm someone who has like a lot of tries to have contingency plans. So
Okay.
I think at the very least, if you can get an industry badge, because I went out for one, they're like, sure, yeah, do that. If you get one alongside press, and I think so. I think you should do that if you can afford it. That's the thing. I can, because behind the manga, it's more of a passion project for both of us. So this is not my day job.
Right. We're
Yeah,
not getting paid to do any of this. This is all
exactly.
self-funded and on our own volition. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I am able to, and I have a day job that pays well, that allows me to buy a badge for, and the 4-day general one, the industry. So so yeah, and I did the same with my partner as well, just as because this was advice I know you had told me as well, just in case, if you can get the industry one, you can. My partner, we both got the 4-day as well, and then she was able to get her. She got the press one as well. She didn't have any problems getting that, but getting hers and activating hers, it was just me who ran into it. Um, but yeah, I think if you can, as that contingency plan, if you're press and you can also get an industry badge and can afford to pay for that, then get that as a backup.
I guess to speak from a person who only had a press badge, right? Um, the experience was, and we'll get into the experience a little later, but
Hmm.
it wasn't terrible. Now, for context, the reason why I advised Winter to get both a industry and a press badge is because, and we're going to talk about it a little later on, is that Anime Expo has something called a press lounge and something called a industry lounge. So in years past that I've gone, they separated the two. But
Hmm.
this year they had the brilliant idea to combine both. So you can have both in one thing, which I think was a good move. In which I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later.
Hmm.
Uh, but for me, as someone who only got press, it was fine in some cases. But again, later on, we'll get
Yeah.
into where it kind of can get a little dicey. So I know that you were there before the con officially started. I think you were there. What was it like? Almost like a few
It was
days
2 days.
before.
It was
2
just
days
2 days
before.
before, yeah.
Okay. Could you walk me through what you did between those 2 days before AX?
I think, because Tuesday is when we landed and we went to the hotel, to, check in and everything. And that's when when I think we ate something, because I had not eaten since like 8:30 that morning or something. And uh, so yeah, I think I had something there, and then, and then later we went out to, no, because yeah, we had gone out to like, udon place and stuff, and checked out some things. And so then that gave us enough time to go to the pick up the badge. And that's where, I first met you in person, and one of the people, Nick of Manga Mavericks books. So I met, you two in person, and from there, that's when all of us went to go eat at like a sushi restaurant or something like that. And then, I know we had also went to go check out like Little Tokyo, I think. And so it was checking out the arcade, checking out, it was like a little convenience, like, convenience store, and then checking out some of the things in that, like alley, not alley, like a almost, it's like that little like second, it's like a lower floor alleyway kind of thing. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And then
yeah.
after that, so that was mostly like just for Tuesday. And that's when we all hung out and watched, like we're at the sushi restaurant and stuff. And then I think, we all me, you, and my partner, we all went to go and just check out other things around, and then that's when we split, and my partner and I went back to the hotel. Wednesday was, I think we went and we checked out Little Tokyo again. Um, and that was really to just sightsee generally. And yeah, so that was where I picked up some gifts, some souvenirs for my parents. I actually still need to send it off. I haven't yet. But it was check out some of the other things, check out some of the I think we checked out the Square Enix Cafe. Well, we tried. We were not able to. Yeah, we were not able to like sit down at the cafe, but just to browse the shop, I picked up some shirts there and everything. And then, just kept checking those, kind of sightseeing a bit. And then Thursday is of course when it started. And yeah, so so really that's kind of what we did there. I will skip ahead and I will say after the con, we kind of did some more sightseeing, because I know a lot of people left on a ton of people were leaving on Monday because the con, AX, for those who may not know, ends on Sunday. Sunday's the last day. Thursday is from Thursday to Sunday. So our flight was Tuesday. We stayed for exactly 7 days. So Monday, it was really just chilling. I think we started doing some packing towards the afternoon, but it was chilling. It was just relaxing, checking out a bunch of restaurants as well. Kind of going back to some that I think one of them Nick had recommended and stuff. So we had done that. Um, and yeah, and then Tuesday was just the flight back. And yeah, so that was mostly like what we did before and after AX.
I guess my first follow-up to that question to the your response would be, um, what was your favorite restaurant during your time visiting?
Oh, it was now this was further out, but it was Max's chicken. It's not even in like
Okay.
that area. It's in in like another city. It was, yeah, in Glendale. Max's restaurant, that was it. And yeah, it's in Glendale. We had gone there and it was really good. It was really good. Now we did that during the con. It was like after the con ended. Um After the J Novel Club. Yeah, it was after the J Novel Club panel. Like once that ended, we had gone back to the hotel and then we had gone out to to that. And no, that was great. That was great. That was top notch.
Okay. What were your thoughts when you first met me in person? And could you describe if what I looked like matched what you've heard me sound like throughout this entire time we've done behind the mic?
I mean, I would kind of say that doesn't it's I mean, I don't know if it really counts much or as a question, and I say this because I've seen you before because you've posted, except for like not your full face. I just saw part of it because you would post your like
Right.
you would post
Yeah, I would
selfies of
post
stuff on social
with
media
selfies
saying
of
like,
like
"Hey,
on
I'm
social
going."
media. Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like most of that I actually saw you. I think I saw you before you saw me. And then I heard the voice. I was like, yeah, okay, that's him. Like, okay,
you
that's
heard
him.
you heard
Because you were
wait,
talking
what?
with people. You were talking with Nick, I believe.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay.
yeah. And you were because I guess I don't know if you guys had just met up at that point and what have you, but you two were talking. And I was like, that's him. And so I
You
was talking
called me
to
out like, "Yep, that's him.
I'm
I
like,
I
"That's him."
hear that's
Yeah.
him right there."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so I was
I'm
like,
glad
"Okay."
that, I'm glad that I'm recognizable in person. And I'm
Yeah.
also, you know, I guess kind of to go speak from the other perspective, I think I've only seen you once, but not like because you posted yourself on social media, but because I guess a little behind the scenes. So typically we tend to do our interviews on Discord and creative
Yeah, that's right.
everything else. to have everything set up. So we have like a nice sleek setup for guests coming in to make it easier. But every now and then we'll have some guests who doesn't have Discord or who don't prefer Discord and would rather prefer to use something more professional like Google Meets or Zoom or something. So it was when we interviewed, I believe it was Ben Applegate.
Yes. Yeah.
That was when we were on. I think
Which
I
was the one
wasn't,
that
but
you were not on, like,
I
you were not showing your camera, but I
I
did
wasn't on
because Ben
cam,
did.
but because right, exactly.
And I was like,
So
I'm not gonna just
um
leave him like that. Yeah.
right. So that's yeah. So that was pretty cool. I guess for me a little bit, what I was doing. So I guess Winter was mentioning before. We did hang out. We did
Because we
walk
went
around
to,
Little
yeah, Little
Tokyo. We walked
Tokyo.
around. We walked past the Square Enix cafe. We walked past like the Sega pop up shop.
That's it.
Um,
Yeah. The only time we
yeah,
were actually able to get in. That was the
yes,
only time.
the only time because after that, um,
That was
the
packed.
line was just packed. It was just
It wrapped
ridiculous.
around, like, here's the thing, if you weren't there, it wrapped around. And so when Alerts and I first went there, um it was like no line. There was no line. You just walked in, and I thought it was a permanent thing. I was like, okay, cool. And we walked in. I took pictures of stuff. I didn't want to buy anything there, but I was taking pictures of things, and everything. I was like, okay, cool, okay, cool. And yeah, then the next day, I was like, this was packed, and because you weren't there, this was when my partner and I were
Right.
walking
No,
around,
I was
and
not there. I
I sent
was
you a
yeah,
picture,
no.
and I was like, dude,
Yes.
it's yeah, it's packed.
Mhm. Yeah, it was yeah, no, that it was crazy. Now you weren't invited to Kodansha House, right? Or
No.
were you?
No, I was not. No.
You were not. I think you had a schedule conflict though that day, right? Because
Yeah, I did.
yeah, you did
I
because
think I could have, I don't know if I got like the default email things like, hey, if you're interested, like, I guess maybe everyone got, but I was not explicitly invited like you were.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So fun story. I was also not explicitly invited. It was more like it just off chance they met Ben and they're like, "Hey, Ben," or not, not a Ben. It's like, "Hey, are you going to Kodansha House?" And it's like, no." It's like, "What? You're supposed to be invited. Here you go." But then I remember because I got it, and then I think at the time I mentioned it, but like you said before, you had a schedule conflicts where like you weren't able to
Yeah.
go make. But were you still able to visit Kodansha House though in LA?
Actually, no. We were not able to. I think it was, I don't know if it was we were tired from like the con or something,
That's
but
valid. Yeah.
yeah, but we weren't able to. I know we initially made plans to, but I don't think we were able to, uh, just given the time frame for on Sunday, because I think that's what we wanted to do, and then Monday we thought about it, but then we were just like,
Right.
let's go around and just get something to eat. Monday was also to like deliver all of like, send all the stuff that we bought and
Right.
stuff to
Yeah.
ourselves. And then I think kind of after that it was mostly just kind of cool down and then chill and stuff until
Right.
like,
Because
tomorrow, the
and
next
as
day.
we're about to, get into, that's where a whole lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
So, okay. I guess for some context on Kodansha House a little bit, and then we'll get into like actual con itself. So Kodansha, I never went to the one in New York, but I went to the one in LA. So I went both during like a private like event, whatever, and then
Hmm.
I also went during like when it was open to the public. So during the private section, there was a lot of influencers there. So if you are a big fan of TikTok, and you'll recognize, the Ohio Boss guy, Brown Bakugo, um, bunch of like TikTokers that especially anime TikTokers, that if you are knowing and aware of, then you'll know who I'm talking about. Whole Wheat Pete was there. I know he's a controversial figure, but he was there. He was invited. So, um, or it wasn't like I don't think he was explicitly invited. You could technically like I think the way it worked was if you got an invite, you could do like a +1, +2. So I think that's how he got in. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Mhm.
Don't worry, Kodachi. I'm not gonna get on your ass or anything like that. Don't worry. Don't worry. But it was interesting to see. I did get to meet a couple people. I got to meet a few other journalists that was there. Got to meet one of the people who built like a couple of the booth venues for a couple of the companies. That was really cool to meet. I got to meet some old friends of mine. I got to experience the little attractions that they had. Couldn't go to the Blue Lock one, but that's okay. It's cool. I got to sit down with my friend Winter here and watch the World Cup, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
But yeah. Oh, but the merch stuff, God, that was expensive as hell. I think it
Oh,
was like
really?
80, 90. So I when I first went there, they had Ghost in the Shell merch, and I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of want to see what the Ghost in the Shell merch was like. And there was this like glow in the dark T-shirt that I kind of wanted, but it was $120 or like 80,
Ooh.
$90. I'm like, I am not paying that. I'm sorry, but you're not doing that. And then
Yeah.
by the time I went there again, a lot of the merch that I was looking into was sold out. So I'm like, it's okay. Typically, what they'll do is they'll post the merch later on online, which is what they did with Anime NYC. So fingers crossed they do it for Anime Expo, but we'll see. But
Okay.
I'm going to New York anyway, so they're gonna be there. We'll see.
Gotcha.
So
No alerts. I'm
now,
not popular enough to get directly
yeah,
invited.
well, hold on. You keep going to the Anime Expo, and you're definitely gonna be put on a couple lists. I can be assured you of that. Future that.
Well,
Because, drum roll, the next question I have for you is
all right.
what was it like to schedule and plan your days at Anime Expo? What was that process like?
I enjoyed it surprisingly, but uh it was different from what I was doing my actual job. 'Cause my job is like software development, and it was different. And honestly, it was honestly kind of mind numbing for me, doing the planning. So it was like, okay, it's mind numbing for me, but it was just kind of like a fun thing to kind of do. But it was to organize and plan for me, you, um, my partner, and then someone else who was also doing reporting for us. And just to make sure like any conflicts and stuff. Uh, like really what I had done is I had a spreadsheet of yeah, a Google spreadsheet that I sent out to all of you, and things that panels and stuff that you were generally interested in. Um I would put them there. I had it broken out for like, day 1 through day 4 with the times and stuff. And then if there were briefly, I had some that if they conflicted, I still put them anyways, just of like, okay, well, which one do I really want to go to? Other ones like, okay, which obligations I have? Like, we had one of the Arc System Works. Like we had agreed for like a demo to go through their
Yeah,
games. And
right.
so I didn't have a hard time on that because they hadn't we hadn't set one yet. We just had the day set, and they were gonna get back to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, so it's gonna be like this." Or they had the time actually, and then it was like, "But I don't know how long it's supposed to be." And so I just said, "Okay, for an hour." So I had that set, and then other things. And so it helped. I felt like it helped. And then, I got the Anime Expo app, and I was like, "Oh, okay." At least I knew which ones to put in. But yeah, I did the whole old school, Google spreadsheet,
Yep.
and had it coordinate with everyone. I didn't really use it too much at the con because we had the Anime Expo app, but
Yeah,
it
the Anime
was
Expo app. Yep.
yeah, but I mean, at least I knew what I wanted, so it was like, okay, let me put those in to the app, and have favorite them. So it was there, but it was kind of fun to do, and just to have. And I don't know if it helped anybody. briefly, but I mean, it seemed like it helped me a bit briefly. So would I do that
Yeah.
again? Probably, because there were ones that app was kind of slow. So there were ones that it's just easier for me. I'm on my laptop or I'm on my desktop. I'm like, all right, I want to type in, I want to go to this panel, I want to go to this panel, and I'm just going to put these in. And then any kind of notes, and I had like color code things of this was a industry panel, this is a screener, this is the games panel, video game panel, like that. So that's my process. It's rudimentary, but it works.
Yeah, okay. So follow up to that,
Mhm.
could you walk me through what it was like scheduling and coordinating interviews at Anime Expo?
It wasn't I guess it was a little difficult. It actually really wasn't difficult. It was really just you have to be patient. And but the other thing is you had to make sure that you don't want to be rushing across the entire three arenas. And that was one where, because I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know how the layout was. So there was one that we were supposed to do, or that was we were in talks of doing, and it was at the Ritz Carlton. I told you about it and you were like, okay, well, I don't know if you should do that, or I don't know if we should do that. And I was like, oh, but it'll be covering this. And you were like, well, yeah, but see, if you look, this is where everything else is, like majority of things, of the panels, the exhibits and stuff. The Ritz Carlton is all the way here. And I'm like,
Right.
oh. And
Right.
so I didn't know how the weather was really going to be. So I was like, I don't want to be all the way there. And I think it would have been like, I would have had to miss a couple of things because it was just going the back and forth. And so I was like, no, I said, like, can we change this to an email interview? And then we were supposed to do that, but then they never got back to us. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Um, I didn't take on, I think it was really just like, no, they were supposed to be like maybe 3 or 4 interviews we were supposed to do. One of and that was one. The other one was, there was another one, I forgot, but, I think that, I forgot what happened with that one. Uh, the third one, and then the other, no, 2 of them they were supposed to be the musical guests, at the J concert. And I
Yeah.
think we could have gotten those, but who we were speaking to, the person we were in contact with had gone on leave, and we didn't know until I reached out, and then they were like, "Oh, okay." And I mean, at that point, it was like it was almost starting over again. So I was like, "Okay, well, hey, sure, let me just do it anyways." They're like, "Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do this." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I figured." So it was fine, but I think we could have gotten one of those. Um,
Yeah.
but the switch up and everything. Oh no, and there was one that was supposed to be for you. I think you had a couple, but there was one that's supposed to be for you that I think didn't pan out. But we did get one that honestly we had no plans of, because that wasn't even on the list. It wasn't even on the schedule as an opportunity, but we got it thanks to, again, the Arc System Works. That was the in that interview was the one that's out on our website. It's with Satoshi Hirie. Um who is the
Yeah.
game designer and director behind the upcoming game Kleepaw and Providence Shadow. And that was a even though that was an email interview, I mean that was one that it wasn't even on our list, but they were like, "Hey, do you want to do it?" Because I had brought up something I wanted to do it when I had talked to the person, talked to him directly, but his translator was busy with some other people, so it didn't. I think he got the idea across of, like, an interest across, but then I spoke to Arc System Works, and they're just like, yeah, we can set up an email interview, sure. And yeah, so we got that one. But the ones where Anime Expo was offering, um, kind of, it was almost like a 50-50. You definitely have to kind of be on top of that. I mean, I feel like we were because we've had practice, not training. We've had practice, but it is one of those things that even if you have practice, you're on top of it. People take vacation, things happen, so it may not, so they may fall through. And I guess my advice is if you're going to Anime Expo, just as press, just for the interview opportunities, I would probably maybe have some other things in mind of like some backup plans and stuff. Because if you're looking for like, let's say you're looking to have like 15 interviews, um, and you're like maybe a medium-sized press outlet or something like that, you may not get all 15. You may get only 7 of them. So but and it may not be because of you or whoever's communicating with it. It's just, things happen. So I guess that would be the advice I would give in that case.
You saw what I meant by like how Arc System Works are like the goats when it comes to if something happens or if something goes wrong or if whatever not, they are like Valve. They will send out SEAL Team 6, they will send out the SWAT team, they will do anything and everything to make sure that you are taken care of, right?
Oh yeah. You were not lying on that. And it was no, they were on top of it. It was great. It was really cool. Um the the on the demo floor as well, they were good. But yeah, no, they were on top of that. I had just texted like, "Hey, this is a situation that happened." And they were like, "Okay, sure, yeah." Um and now I think I know why the translator was away, seeing as there's an outlet who interviewed the same person, Satoshi, um, interviewed him at Anime Expo. Their interview came out recently. I'm like, oh, I think that was them who were trying to set up an interview. And so they pulled the translator away for because I think she was also trying to translate for for the person who did Disgaea as well. So at that point, and so I think because she was pulled away, I think they brought her in to translate to do that brief interview or whatever there or something. And I'm like, okay, that's why the translator wasn't near when I was trying to communicate to um Satoshi Hirie. So that's why so yeah, but they were on top of it when I told them the situation in text. They were like, "Okay, yeah, we can set this up." I mean, do you need to do a live one? I'm like, "Oh, email? No, no, just an email interview." They're like, "Okay, yeah. You're good. We'll do this." I had some other questions I had for my article for about my hands-on impressions on the game. I had some questions. They were like, "Okay, we will talk to them and we'll talk to I think to Hirie, and I think we'll talk to the studio Unite Plus. We'll talk to them and we'll get those answers." And they did. They were on top of everything. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now that we've gone through interview, like setting up the schedule, setting up interviews, all that fun stuff, let's go talk about each day. So, how was day one of Anime Expo? What went well? What didn't go so well? And what did you walk away from that?
Uh Day 1 was alright. I think what went well was, like, the panels, some of the panels, like the Square Enix one, that was good meeting with, the staff there after, even though we've interviewed them at times and, I've, yeah, I think, we had scheduled, to, have seats available for us, for their panel and things. Um Meeting them in person stuff, I think that went well for day 1. Um, the manga acquired one was also cool. I think that, yeah, and I think that was fine. I think those were good. I think some of the panels they were good. What I would have improved on is I wish I knew like where the I kind of wish I knew where the little like it's not a pop-up shop, but it's like the little like little mini store in the arena
Which
was. It's like the
store?
it's like one where you just walk in, you pick up stuff from like the fridge and stuff, and then put it on like
Oh,
a
oh, oh,
tray and
oh,
stuff.
oh.
And I say that because I would have kept that. I only found out because my partner had discovered it later on, but I only found out about it
Yeah,
like I think on Saturday or something. And I say that because I would have gotten one of the water bottles for that, drank all the water in there and just kept it and refilled
yeah,
it. Um, I would have done that. I think that was definitely where I would have done better is I would have had like a water bottle or something. And I know someone in our Discord server was like, you should have brought snacks. And I actually did. But I think what I actually needed, what I think, and my partner and I were talking about it, I think what we actually needed was like heartier snacks. So like, trail mix and those things like snacks that you would take on a hiking trip, you should get for Anime Expo. And I
yeah.
do think that's the one, yeah, that's one of the things. I did bring, no, I think it was the next day I brought a towel or something. Um,
Yes,
because
because it was very, um, hot,
yeah,
hot
it
as hell
was,
on those
yeah,
days.
and it was, and I was sweating a lot. It was weird because yeah, I was sweating a lot, but I wasn't tired. It was just a lot of sweat and stuff, but I wasn't tired at all. Like I was like, yeah, I can keep going. Like I can keep going a bunch. But yeah, so I think it would have been it's the snacks and the water. Um and I think now this other improvement, I only realized it later. I should have also done the recording for the how do we acquire manga, like that panel. I know you're going to write the article for it. I think you're still going to write the article for it. Um,
Yes, because I did, it
you did take
so
that one. You were like, I'll
I
do that.
did. Yeah, 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 yeah. So what we did was we both had like two different styles of transcribing. So what I did was I just tried to do it like exactly like word for word what they said, while you, Winter, on the other hand, did more of a summary approach, which to be clear, there is value in doing both because on one hand, let's say for example, especially for a panel like this, a lot of people will either like construed or misremember or not exactly like have an archive of what was said at that panel. And when they try to reference that sort of stuff in like a
Hmm.
Twitter argument or something, having that exact quote helps so that
Yeah.
there's consistency. But on the other side of it, right, having that summary and having that like summarized points gets the point across faster, meaning that your coverage of it will most definitely be faster. And if you're trying to be like the first one to post the panel or whatever, then that's sort of the approach that I feel like for most panels do well, but it really boils down to what your reporting style is, I
So
feel.
I would also definitely want to mention the difference
Yes,
is
go ahead.
that one, when I was talking about for recording, I mean, I was not using the recorder on that. I started using it the next day or something. Um, but the recording app, I mean, but the other thing is that the difference and the reason that I had to like for that one, I had to do quicker stuff is not to be first. I honestly did not care about that. But it was because I am not Twitter blue. I don't have a blue check. You do. So you can put all of that kind of information in one tweet and I cannot. So that's also why you have to trim things down. So I know the one that like I know the big one, it wasn't a this was not a point of contention, but I know there was one we had talked about, the thing where, not Shoujo, sorry, Viz had said that, they have shonen, kind of locked down, more or less. I'm paraphrasing what I had said, but, they are doing well for shonen, but they can improve in shoujo. And that was the can improve in shoujo is what was said. Now, there's of course like a little bit more to it, and I think you had mentioned that in your post, but in order for and I had mentioned like, that they feel like they're strong in shonen, they can improve in shoujo, and they can also improve in expanding on other genres like horror and stuff, which is what they said. But it is condensed down to that. And I had to do that because I'm not Twitter Blue. So I couldn't put everything that they had said because, you know, I would
Right.
definitely hit the limit.
Exactly.
So there is a difference in that as well, where
Mhm.
um blue checks can put more.
So outside of that panel, did you attend any others on day one?
I did go to the Bushiroad panel. Um
Yeah.
I
How was
I
that?
was a little late on that. It was interesting because it was all about, their card games, right? Weiss Schwartz.
Uh-huh.
Um, they had some, it was like some other ones. I know that's where they also introduced the Pal World card game. And they also were
Yeah.
doing, oh, Card Fight Vanguard. That was the other one. That was the big one. Um, and it was just all about that. My only concern, not concern, sorry, my only complaint about the panel, it was too dang dark in there, dude. Like, because they were actually showing like, oh, here's his new card mat, here's this new play mat. Sorry, here's a new play mat. And you couldn't see it. And I'm like, and this, I know I was like towards the back, but you could not see it. It was too dark. Like I had to focus, I had to like squint and I could see that it was blue. And then I was like, but other than that, I could not see anything. Like no one, you couldn't see, the only thing you could really see was the PowerPoint slide. But it was just too dark in there for like, oh, let's show stuff, in person. And I'm like, well, you have no lights here. Like, what's going on? But yeah, like it was all about their card games and stuff. So um it was okay if you're a fan of their card games. That's cool. Other than that, I mean, there really wasn't anything else. I think on top of that, that was the only one I went to that day because I didn't go to World's Finest Assassin season 2. Um, I meant to, and then I was like, it's kind of late. I think we had left to go back to the hotel and get something to eat there and get
Yeah.
something to eat and stuff because I was like, I am not gonna pay these. I mean, because all the places, the stalls were closed anyways. But I mean, the
Right.
stalls. That's a different. You probably have a question about that. So,
Oh,
uh,
trust me. Once we
yeah,
get once we get into, I think it was like day 2 or 3.
yeah.
We'll
So,
get into that.
yeah. So like, other than that, it was like, no, we went back, got some like actual food and stuff, and just chill. I think that's when I maybe started writing up the articles and stuff.
So for me, really quick for day 1, um I was with Winter for how manga is acquired. Then we went to the Square Enix manga panel as well too. I did go and catch a little bit of the Manga Maverick stuff where they talked about the sort of Paros, and all that fun stuff. And then right after that, I went to the Cherry Magic panel, in which I went
Oh,
to
that's
because
right.
my partner is a very, very big fan of Cherry Magic. And I was like, you know what? Because I wanted to make my partner happy, I went ahead and went to go because what they did was at the Square Enix manga booth, or not the booth, the panel, they had a art card, but it was split in half. So you got half of it there, and then the other half
Uh,
of it at the Cherry Magic one. So of course, I had to make my partner happy, and I went to both. And then there was a part in the at the Cherry Magic panel where um the mangaka was drawing the two characters,
Mhm.
and they were doing like a poll at the panel where it's like, okay, so what do you guys want? Do you want them on a cute date? Do you want them as cat boys? Do you want them in a yukata? Like, what do you want? And so, me thinking what my partner would want, I went and voted for cat boys. And next thing you know, the mangaka surprised everyone and drew them in yukata and cat boys, and they allowed us to take pictures. So when I took pictures, let's just say they were
It
very happy that they were
yeah.
very happy seeing that. They were
Okay,
very
that's
happy seeing
good. Yeah.
it. I did skip Blue Petal, but because I think there was a schedule conflict there. I did get to see Star Wars Visions, which was really good. Um,
Mhm.
and it
I
was
know
really
you were
good to hear
excited for
people
that
speak.
one.
I
'Cause you
was because I'm a
Yeah,
huge
because
fan
when
of
we
Star
got
Wars
the
Visions.
invitation, you were like, "Yes, I'm doing it. I'm like, "Hey, oh, yeah, if you
Yes,
yeah, no,
I
totally, you could
I
do it." And
was
it's like,
like,
"I am doing this. I'm doing the screener. they
uh,
offer this. I'm doing it. I'm offered this. I'm doing it." I'm like, "Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. This the that's
it was
fine."
like, as my partner once told me, it was like I was a monkey gnawing at its bars or something when I saw the words Lucasfilms in the email. I was like, yes, I gotta do this
I'm like,
once in a
"Okay,
lifetime
yeah."
opportunity.
I'm like, "You
And
want me to send
yeah,
something to him?" You're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Are you going to be able to do it?" He's like, "Yes, I will move heaven and earth for this." I'm like, "All right."
yes,
And then they were on the
yes.
ball too pretty well.
Yes, and funny enough, that was their first time. I think they said that was their first time at AX, so that was like
Mm,
for first time. Great, you guys did great, fantastic, awesome. And I did get to see the whole
season, right?
the Last Jedi. Yes,
Yeah.
and short review, very fantastic, very good addition to Star Wars. If you like anime, you'll like it. If you like Star Wars, you'll very much love it. Cool.
Are you
All right,
gonna do
so
a review for that or
uh, I'd have to double check what the
okay.
requirements are for that one because I don't know if there's like a um
Oh,
like
embargo or something?
not an embargo, but like
Mhm.
how some anime companies will have like, okay, you can talk about certain episodes up to a point on like a specific date.
Yeah.
So I have to
Gotcha.
figure out, yeah, what that's all about. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So day two, what worked, what didn't work. And I think it was on day two where what'd you think about them food stall prices there?
Yeah, I think that was day 2. Yeah, so I think what worked was, 'cause I'm trying to look at what so I think what worked was, I don't know, day 2 was kind of like it wasn't as many. I don't think I really went to as many panels. I know I went to the publisher panels basically, and that was so I had, of course, Yim Press. That's where I met some of the staff of Yim Press. It was pretty cool. Um, it was honestly, it was kind of fun to do the to see the announcements in person. I mean, I think my only feedback for that is to like maintain the categorization. So like if you're doing manga announcements, do all the manga announcements, and then light novels, do all the light novels, manhwa, web comics, whatever, do all of those. Audiobooks, do all of those, because they would do like three. And then the next one would be like, oh, it's a light novel. So I'm like, okay, they're done with their manga. Then after light novel, they'll go back to manga. And then from manga, they'll go to web comics and then back to light novels. And I was like, okay, hold on a second. And so I wasn't so I was like, If they could just did you do all manga now, and then do all light novels now, then all manhwa, you know web comics now and then all like audiobooks now. Like I think that would have been better, but that's more of me as press and posting that on social media than, actually that's more of a nitpick than like anyone else there. Um but going to the panel and stuff was fun. It was to see the Q&A stuff, and I thought that was that was interesting. Other than that, I think that's where I really started checking out the booths, and I think that's where I would have done what I would have done better is like split up the booths I want to go to across the days. Um, because man, some of the booths you're just thinking, okay, it shouldn't be too much of a line, and then it's like that line is out the door wrapped around, and I'm like, what? So then it might okay, it should be kind of quick, but then it's like it takes so long to get to, to do whatever thing at the booth for many of the booths that like I almost missed like another uh I almost missed a panel I plan on going to. So I would
Oh
probably I think
no,
what
that's ooh. Yeah, that's not good. That is
yeah.
yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably would have kind of reduced some of more of the panels, and just so I can go to more of the booths. But honestly, I don't think I went to that many panels on day 2. Um, I think honestly, I think day 2 was the one I think it was a point I just kind of like stayed in the I don't know if that was day 2 or day 3, but I just kind of just stayed in the was it in the press lounge for a bit for a while, because it was just like I was just sweating a bunch for some reason, and I was like, okay, let me just chill here. um yeah, let me just like chill here and drink a bunch of water so I don't dehydrate. So that was the but yeah, I think and that kind of goes back to having, the water bottle and things like that. Um yeah, so that's I think that's what I would have done differently. I probably would have set a day aside for booths and yeah, for booths and for taking more pictures. Because I know my partner and I wanted to. Well, my partner definitely wanted to take more pictures with me and things. Um, so that is like one of the plans for like definitely for next year is to do that.
Yeah. Um I also want to mention and point out that if there is any merch that you want from the exhibit hall, for the love of God, go get it on day 1.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, if
See,
you
that was more
wait,
day 4. I thought you were gonna wait
like
for that one, but yeah, no, we can go into it now.
I, I mean, granted, day 4, and you're right. We could wait for day 4, but I just want to
Oh, sorry,
make
no,
a
it was
quick
day
comment about
3.
this,
My
and
bad. It
then
was day 3.
we'll get into day 3. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there are some that like you most definitely need to like make sure you get on day 1 or like maybe day 2, because any of those like anything after that, the chances of you getting something go down like a good example is the Kagurabachi bag. Everyone wanted the Kagurabachi.
Oh
But
yeah.
guess what? It was out on day 1. Crazy. Now, granted,
Yeah.
day 2 and onward, they got more, but still, it was like, what the heck? That was, yeah.
I remember, yeah, no, because that was, yeah, we did check on day 1,
Yep.
and
We
yeah,
checked on day 1, it was out. We did get
yeah,
some on day 2, and I think, no, we both got one
yeah.
on day 2 because it was next to the Mappa booth, but then I ended up picking up some extra ones for those who were not able to go and get the bag. One more thing about from you.
Hmm.
Talk to me about that stall food that you bought for $28.
Oh no, no, it was 21 because so yeah, so like actually that might have been day 3, but we can talk about it now.
Sure,
Okay,
go for
so
it. Go for it.
yeah, yeah. So I was like ultra hungry, and I was like, okay, I need to get some like actual food. And so me, you, my partner, we go to the stall, the food stalls. We're checking them out, and I'm like, okay, because we wanted one that I think my partner had already eaten. No, no, she was in line for something, but uh, like we were just waiting on. So I'm like, I want the one with the stall with the less, sorry, with the shortest line. So so I find the pizza one, and I'm like, okay, because no one was there, and I didn't know. I was like, okay, it's pizza. Okay, I understand we're at Anime Expo, but like, hey, you need some food. You need some food. Now I understand. Now I know what was there. $21. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be like a like a personal pizza. Okay, so I get it in a drink, and it was like chicken pizza, whatever. It was one slice. It was like one thin slice, and with like a little bit of like chopped up chicken on there. Like honestly, it looks like something out of like Cece's Pizza, and I'm like.
No, because literally, like it was
$21, and
no, because like
you were
no, so for
already in line.
context, no, for context, obviously we don't want to call them out because I get it.
I
The
forgot the
stalls
name,
were
to be honest with
expensive.
you.
I forgot the name too. The stalls were expensive. They're trying to make their money. I'm not trying to like ruins anyone hustle here, but let's be honest,
I
it is
would.
a bit it was misleading that they showed a full pan pizza and you're thinking, "Oh, okay, so that's actually that, right?" But then in like a small text or whatever, it turns out that um that full pizza, if you wanted the full like pie, which I think was just a small like 12-inch pie or I think 14-inch pie, one of the two, right? It was $60. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
But a slice was like 21 and like you said, the slice was thin, there wasn't that much like chicken on there, and it was just
and
a lot of like
it's
air
just
like
yeah,
it was a
it
lot
was a
of
lot of
like
air.
there was a lot of air in the crust.
Yeah,
So like for me, don't get me wrong, I don't mind like air bubbles in my crust as long as I know that the pizza itself was like, it's gonna fill me up.
but the
Because I
entire
think you originally
pizza
said
bread was like,
was you said you wanted like something to fill you up, which that's understandable, that's fine. But just that pizza was just not good. Or it was good, it was fine, but I would not recommend
it's
spending
not
$21
$21,
dollars
And I looked
right,
at
I would
you after,
yeah.
like, we because I ate mine, and then you had yours, and no, you look at yours, and you look at me, and I look at you, and I'm like,
We
yeah,
were both
that
looking at
ain't
each
that.
other, and I
You're
was
just
like
like,
we
it
both looked
was.
at each other like
You're like,
like fuck. We both looked at each other and we were just like, "Yeah, no, this is a ripoff, dude." Like
this is
we both
yeah,
got fleeced. Holy, like Jesus Christ. But it's okay. It's okay. We at some point you were able to get a break. I was able to get a break, so we actually went out of the con center to actually go out and eat something, which
yeah.
is fantastic. Um, but besides that, you didn't do anything else, right?
Oh no, because I know I had done the screener, and then after
Yes,
the
you.
screener was the J Novel Club panel,
Yep.
but other than that, I think it was just I think that was also where I did the in between that whatever point I think I did the Bushi Road. I went to their
Yes,
booth
I think I was there
because
with
I
you doing your booth, and then I had to
yeah,
dip
because I was
out
playing
for
yeah, for the Bang Dream R notes.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, I guess this is where my perspective comes in. So, again, we both did the Yen Press panel.
Hmm.
I think I skipped Blue Lock Creators to do something else.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
originally wanted to go that one, but then I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna. I think I skipped both Blue Lock Creators and Ink Lore because I wanted to do both, but then I'm like, yeah, you know what? And nah, it's whatever. It's fine. I took time for myself to actually view the con, everything else, and then I had an interview. Funny enough, and then after that interview, because it was in the Marriott or the Ritz Carlton or whatever it was called, right?
hmm
It was in the same spot. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and line up for the Kagurabachi panel. because I know that's for those that don't know, they're doing a Kagurabachi world tour in which they're going around the world to showcase the first 20 minutes of Kagurabachi. And me knowing last time, from the look back panel, in which if it's a super popular panel, they're going to be pretty packed with people. And then not only that, there was going to be people who panel sit for like panels
Oh yeah.
before to do that one. So I got there early. When I got there early, it was like two lines, and then as time progressed, it got even more, and then the whole like platinum like lobby got filled with people. Like it felt like you could get crowd crushed with people.
Jeez.
But thankfully I got in. There was the press guy right there, and he was like, "Oh, are you press?" And I said, "Yes, I'm press." So he escorted us to the press area, told us all the rules of what you can and can't do explicitly, and even held like a little piece of paper around everybody and explained us through the rules and helped us ask questions. I asked my questions about like what I can say, can't say, um,
Hmm.
what can I write about, can't write about, and he told me everything. And I said, great, cool, fantastic. They had us put our phones in like a little like blank like a Kagurabachi branded sleeve, which we did. Then they gave us a cool little postcard at the end, and we got ourselves a cute little Q&A after the 20-minute episode. I don't want to jeopardize this episode, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but let's just say they did a fantastic job. I really liked it a lot. And I think a lot of people within the anime space who are anime only are really going to like Kagurabachi a lot, especially if you're a fan
Hmm.
of like Quentin Tarantino films, action heavy films,
Hmm.
action related stories. Then after that, I went over to Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 because we actually got a invite from CD Projekt Red to go over there and
That's
cover
right.
that,
Yep.
which was really cool to see. I was a huge fan of Edge Runners 1, and we had to wait for in line at this CD Projekt Red booth to get our ticket or whatever not, and it was in the crypto arena too. So it was getting really cool to see. Getting really cool to see that first episode. At first, I wasn't like really too sold on it, but then I really enjoyed it as time went on, and uh, sucks because now I have to wait until I think it's like October to see the whole thing. So
Oh right.
yeah.
Right.
But other than that, no, I enjoyed day two, and
Hmm.
day three was where it was primarily a you and me day because we were together a lot on this day. So again, take it away.
I
What
think so.
worked, what
Yeah.
didn't work, and go from there.
Uh, I think we're only mostly together towards the
Towards
end.
the end, you're right.
Yeah.
Towards the end, you're right.
But most of the day, I think we were separated out. Like we were doing different things. So for me, I think what worked, honestly, that's where I definitely was using the recording app and stuff. And for, to document for the, for the panel articles that I need to write. And I think what worked there was, I think honestly, it was okay. It was fine. What worked there was mostly towards the end where it was like, Amoy, because we went to Amoy and then Seven Seas, and then I know you had Faku, but I think it was like Amoy and Seven Seas because they're in the same room, and it was just like just being there and just sitting there just back to back. I think worked. No, actually, this was where I kind of just chilled in the press lounge for a while, and I did that because I was just sweating a bunch for some reason, just like a lot. I think probably I overheated, and I also had like a lot of overheated and stuff. So I think that's why I need to really chill and stuff. But I think in that one, I think what worked was my schedule wasn't packed so that I could just there's certain ones that even though I wanted to do, I just removed. Like the Ocean Vale one, I think, or yeah, Ocean Vale. That was one I wanted to go to, but I think I didn't because Ray Earth, because I mean, they didn't clash, but I went from Ray Earth back, and I was like, okay, I need to like chill a bit, so I just skipped Ocean Vale. Now I respect the guys at Oceanville, the people at Oceanville, especially for the situation they have on the booth. But I wanted to go to that because I had some questions I wanted to ask about like their voice acting and stuff. But I'm like, I need to take a minute. I need to take a beat. Um, so other than that, I think like the Arc System Works one was like the big one for me, and I was able to like, I was able to record all the stuff. And I just need to like write it out. But that was the one where I was texting the person like the rep, and even though I didn't meet the rep, like they didn't see me in, it was someone else who was there. The rep was I think busy, I think helping or setting up with the guest. But that one was cool. Ray Earth was that was fun. And I've never read the manga. I knew of the anime, the 90s anime, but I've never watched it. And so watching that there was cool. Even though I was like kind of far back, I still got to see like I still had like a good seat to watch the anime. But and that was the one I'm like I think I had tweeted out, I was like, this is
Yeah.
like anyone who says this has poor animation is rage baiting because no, they're whoever
No, I'm
says this
just
has poor
laughing at the
animation is rage baiting because that looked gorgeous. That like that the first two episodes looked
okay,
incredible.
yeah,
And
because unfortunately, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, you're gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, I unfortunately, it's funny because I didn't see, or I think there was a schedule conflict with Magic Ray or Magic Knight Ray Earth,
Hmm.
but ironically enough, I got to interview the folks that worked on Magic Knight Ray Earth, so that was pretty, I guess, like a pretty funny like flip flop of that. But real
Oh, you
quick,
did?
and that,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
no,
yeah, sorry, you
Otakon,
did
not
for
Otakon,
the Ocon. No, no. So
for
like, but you did the other two because that was a split. It was so the ones who were there at Anime Expo. Now I don't know if they were available for interview or not, but the ones who were there at Anime Expo, the guests for that were Rie Takahashi, who voices I forgot who I think she voices the girl with the yellow hair and the glasses. I forgot her name, but I think she voices her. And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, and for those who may not know who Rei Takahashi is, she voices Megami from Konosuba, Ai Hoshino from Oshinoko, you know, plenty other voices too. And then they also had Sayori Hayami there, who she voiced I forgot the character's name, but she was like she was the goddess who summons the girls there. And for those who may not know who Sayori Hayami is, she voices Your Forger and Spy Family, oh, and Shinobu from Demon Slayer and many other ones as well. So they were there. And but the other two, the girl who I think is blue hair, I forgot the blue hair girl's name. Uta maybe? I forgot. And the
Because
one
I'm
who
looking at, yeah.
is
Go
and
ahead.
the other and then there was someone else. Um they yeah, the red hair girl, I think, and the blue hair girl, they were not there, but they were at Otakon. It was just
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm looking at it now, and people who I interviewed, obviously, once pending approval and everything goes through, we'll post it. I got to talk with Rumi Okubo,
yep,
who
voices Mimcho.
voiced Umi,
Oh yeah, she's oh
and
yeah,
who
Umi.
voices Umi in Magic Knight Raiders. But as Winter mentioned before, one of her well-known roles is Memcho in Oshinoko, and Mutsuki Asagi in Blue Archive for any Blue Archive fans listening to us, and Elizabeth Bathory, that's how you pronounce it, in Fate Grand Order. So there you go. And then I got
Gotcha.
to also interview Takuma Kishida,
Hmm.
who was a producer over at TMS.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
So
that was pretty cool.
yeah, so the event was it was cool, the Rare Earth one. It was really fun. It was in the JW Marriott, so it was like a walk, but yeah, it was fun. It was good. Um And then after that one, that's kind of where when I came back and stuff, I just kind of chilled at the in the press lounge. I think that was also where we talked to some people. I think you had left out because I think you were gonna prep for Ghost in the Shell or something, and I was like, okay, that's why I was
Yeah,
supposed to go
I
to
was
Ocean
prepping
Vale,
for
and
Ghost in
I
the
didn't.
Shell. Yeah, yep, yeah. Which that was a funny story, but we'll get into that once you're finished with your
Okay,
section.
okay, so that's when we synced back to Amoy, and then the Seven Seas one, and then after that, you stayed, I think, for Faku. I had left and gone back to the hotel, and so I think if I would have done something differently, I think this one I think was okay because there was still enough space for me to go, and this is definitely like where I checked out the booths. I checked out Artist Alley with you, which I was able to buy a bunch of acrylics that I'm still putting up. But the Artist Alley one, that was yeah, that was crazy because it was super cramped in that. Other than that, I did a lot of booth stuff on day 3, and I think what I probably would have done is probably spread out the booth stuff across the days.
So I guess we can talk about what happened with me on my thing. So again, as Winter said, we were kind of split apart. We did some more like walking around the exhibition hall. I did walk kind of through Artist Alley, but that was more so on the last day. Was the Ocean Vale the situation with your backpack? Was that happen on day 2 or was it day 3?
I'm pretty sure it was day 2
It was day
because
2.
we
Okay,
had
day 2.
yeah, because we were supposed to meet with or we were going to try to meet with someone we've interviewed before, on our website. Uh,
On our website, but
yeah,
they're that's
but
right, that's right, that's right.
yeah, and then you
Um,
had left out or something like that, and yeah, I had left my backpack there and met back and
yeah,
stuff. Like, because I
but
realized it
again,
after the Yin Press panel that I left my backpack at the Oceanville booth. So I'm gonna still shout them out because they really did like it was still there, and I guess everyone just kind of assumed like, oh, it's just maybe one of the staffs, and I kind of told the guy like, hey, it's mine. Like I was mouthing it because someone else was like was like doing one of their things at their booth. So I was like, and so I think he was like, okay, cool. And then picked it,
yeah,
and then
no,
like let
big
me grab
shout
it.
outs to the folks at Oceanville for being absolute legends and go through that. So
Yeah.
big W's in the chat. I
Which
know
is
such
why I was kind of
amazing.
disappointed I had to skip their panel because I wanted to ask them about I really wanted to record that. Whether the backpack thing happened or not, I wanted to go to that to record it, but I was like, I need to take a
Yeah,
beat because I don't, you don't want to like, oh, pass out because of heat exhaustion, right? So,
right.
yeah,
Let's not pass out at yeah, that would be no,
especially
God,
since
no.
at a certain point, because my partner had to, I think she went to like check something at the care station infirmary area that they had designated, and like no one was there. Like I kid you not, like there was no one
Oh,
there. She had told me
wow.
afterwards. She was like, because she just wanted to check something or some whatever, and yeah, there was no one there. And I think someone else comes up as like, "Oh, you looking for?" And they're like, she's like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Yeah." It's like no one here. It's like another con goer. So just like okay, and they just
Uh, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's yikes. So I went to the Dempa booth or Dempa panel. They did give us a couple actually really good insightful stuff as to what's going on over there. Long story short, they just don't have money to really do much, so they're just doing what they can within their funds to get stuff out.
You talking about Dimpa?
Renjaro, yes, Dempa.
Oh, okay.
And they finally got out after so long of talking about it and so long pushing back. Orenjo
Mm,
Desperado,
yeah.
because if I remember correctly, he even said that he mailed the copies from the boat to the hotel room and brought it out.
Oh, dang.
'Cause you
Wow.
were there because we were talking because we were it was your first time meeting with Ed
No,
in
that
person.
did he say that on in
Yeah,
at
he
his
did.
booth?
Yeah, because we were there. We were talking
Because I
with
didn't
him.
go to okay. I didn't hear that part about him sending that or
Because we were
getting.
talking about Alpha Polis.
Yeah. I was talking to him about Alpha Polis, but I know that no,
It
this
might
I
have
know
been
I
an
remember.
earlier conversation.
No,
Okay,
I
yeah.
remember he no, so I didn't know that he got it from the boats to there, but I do know he had mentioned like, "Oh, I just received it at like just before the con started."
Okay, so that's probably what it. Well, he didn't actually get it from the boat to
Oh,
hotel.
okay.
He probably got it like shortly after and then shipped it over. Which that's hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Like
keep it a
he's
buck
like,
with
"I
y'all.
just got it." Yeah.
It's yeah, he just got it. Um, so I got to speak with them. I got to speak with Emmy from Glacier Bay. So got to see their cool stuff over there too, which was awesome. And then I had to go dip out to the Ghost in the Shell panel, which unfortunately, luck. Usually, I'm pretty lucky with these panels and whatever not, but luck struck out for me that day, and they told me no, that I was in, and I got because they were handing out people who went inside a cool Ghost in the Shell poster, and they said nope, we are we are full, get out. Mind you, to be absolutely clear, it's not Kodansha staff, it's not Science Saru staff, and it wasn't anyone who was staff from Ghost in the Shell. This was Marriott security, just to be
Mm,
clear. So when we were there, it was like, what the heck? And there was a guy who behind me who was in a wheelchair who really wanted to get in there. And I told him, like, hey, I'll just let you know they just kicked me out, so hopefully they get you in there. Because typically press is supposed to go to a priority line, but again, it's one of those things where depending on what's being shown in there, you're gonna have a lot of people who um panel sit. And what even happens sometimes, this happened in the Kagurabachi panel, after the screening was done, almost half of the people in that thing left, which was crazy. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I get it, but at the same time, what the heck? You know?
mhm.
So I ended up giving him my poster, and then I ended up securing another one, so I didn't like leave out with nothing. But then the folks at Kodansha were like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, is everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, hey, this is not your guys' fault. You did nothing wrong. It wasn't on you. I'm not saying it was you. I never said it was you. You're good."
Yeah.
Then, as Winter said, we reconvened back at Amoy, which was really cool. Then we think we panel sat because Amoy and Seven Seas were in the same room,
Yeah, no, they
and
were.
then we went over to Faku because Faku it was we wanted to meet up with Jacob over there, and it was a
Well,
really fun
you
experience.
did because yeah,
I did.
I didn't get the
Oh,
tag to
that's
get
right.
in because I was like, I'm like, I need to get home. I'm like tired and
That
hungry. I was
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. So I went in there, met up with my other friends at that panel, and what was really funny was there was a discrepancy on what was allowed to be photographed and what wasn't. So I was there taking photos, and I swear to God, the dude next to me was like, hey, you can't be taking photos. Delete that or I'm kicking you out." And I'm like, uh, I'm press. And the guy, and I know the guy over there, if you really want to stop the panel and talk to Jacob, I'm pretty sure he would allow you to, like, he's like, nope, nope, delete, whatever, not. And then I remember midway through the panel, they stopped and they asked, and he was like, uh, yeah, like, like, oh, you guys were not allowed to take pictures? What the fuck? Take pictures. Like, what? Like, like, what the fuck?
Oh
And
man.
I was like, I was looking for the guy who told me, and I'm like, I fucking told you. And then next thing you know, it was just back and forth on what can be taken pictures, what can't be taken. It was like, whatever. And you want to know what the offending picture that I took was?
What?
The opening, it was just a slide that said Faku X Anime Expo. The very first slide, nothing offensive, and he wanted me to delete that. After the panel ended, I found
Yeah.
Jacob and I was like, yo, Jacob, do you want to see the most offensive picture that I took from your panel. It was like, yeah, let me see it. I showed him. He's like, I don't know. That might be that man. Fuck. I don't know. I think we could allow it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. But no, I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
No, that really was.
Oh,
That's
it
oh,
really it.
I was also gonna
Go
mention
ahead.
the for the Seven Seas panel when we were at that. That was kind of funny to me because it really showed like okay, because you and I are, we see, when Seven Seas does their wonderful Wednesday announcements, we usually see like, hey, they do these announcements, and people are like, oh my god, why do this? All that, right? When I going there in person, it's a complete shift. Like the BL announcements, people go crazy for. They're going wild. It's insane. The I don't think they announced any Yuri stuff there, so I can't really talk about that one. But like, it was like the Don May. Like, I mean, I know people talk about like they're tired of like Seven Seas announcing Don May and stuff, but like there's a good reason why Seven Seas announces Don May. And oh yeah, if you were in that room, you would totally know. The one I found was hilarious though is they announced like they were talking about like their selling like, hey, here's some recent releases that we're gonna do and stuff. And so like for Ghost Ship, it's what it was the MILF isekai,
It was the
betrayed by
Milk
the hero,
Isekai manga that
and
yes,
yeah,
betrayed by the hero,
and
and
like
I
it
formed a
was
party of that.
crickets, like absolute crickets. I'm sorry, it's so funny because before it, they're like, dumb you're okay,
No,
and
because
no,
like
they did, and
it,
then
it
it's
was
like, and
it was so loud when
it
it
was.
was so
And then
loud. It
and it's
was
like
just oh
so
my
it
god.
started, because they're introducing their imprints. There's a dominant like, and there's seven seasons. It's like, yeah, good clapping and stuff like that. Ghost Ship, cricket. And I was like, dang. And I was trying hard not to
Oh
laugh.
my
And they said, this is
god.
our new release thing. It's like volume 3 or 4 of like, the Banished from the Heroes Party. I'm with their mom's one, and it was just
Right,
crickets.
yeah.
And they actually said, well, we know it's doing, people are buying it. So we know you're buying it.
Yeah,
And I leaned it over
right.
to alerts and I said, I should probably lean over. It's like, should I just like clap like, yeah, just like with that one, you're like,
Yeah.
stop.
No,
I'm
what
like,
no, for real.
and then
No,
like,
that 100%, yeah.
yeah, and the light novel ones, of course, got claps or whatever. Steamship got claps or applause, all that stuff. But yeah, it's completely different there. Like the Bahe got like a lot of applause, and honestly, I was like, dang, wasn't expecting it, but this makes sense. Yeah. The Don May, of course, when they did their announcements for the Don May ones, that people were going ballistic. Um, then they announced, and then of course they did one of these. It was a BL manga. It was an actual BL manga. I forgot what it was, but I think it was a sequel to one of the other BL manga that they had already licensed and released. Well, I just know it was a blonde guy on it, and I think a brunette anyways, but I just know that just blew my eardrums out because there was so much screaming. I'm like, it just blew my eardrums out. And I now, if I see the title, the cover, I know what it would be. And I just refer to it as the BL that blew my eardrums out or something. Like it was insane. But then they had announced was it the dark elf who lost her magic or something like that one,
Yeah,
and only
no,
you
because
and
it was
I were just our jaws dropped on that. I was like, I can't believe they picked that up. You're like, I know, and everyone else is just looking like, what the hell is this? It's just like it looked like, what the hell is this?
yeah,
Where's the BL? And I was like, I mean, they didn't say that, but it was just no one cared. It was the Homelander meme of like him just like watching the movie, like stoic, stone face. And I was like, yeah, like, but it was only you and I freaking out about that, about that announcement.
no, because what was crazy was you and I were, like, freaking out because, um, we were like, "What?" because for context, for those that don't know, that title specifically was one of many titles that was featured during it was the Young Magazine USA
USA.
competition
Yep.
where they had a thing where they brought out the actual manga magazine, and you had to vote on, I think it was the top 8 or top 10 or something. No, it was top
Mhm.
8. And
Mhm.
whoever won the top 8 would be going on to be serialized. And that one specifically, I think ranked number 4.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. So it was 16 entries and only 5 were chosen. But because so many people liked it more, they brought in, I think it was like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
But that one specifically got number 4, which was an insane point. It's like, oh, okay, so they're gonna um what is it? Kodansha's gonna get that one, right? No. They passed on it and Seven Seas got it. It was like, what?
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
And we talked to them. It was actually funny because we talked to the staff at Seven Seas who were there afterwards. One was publisher, like her title is publisher. The other one is the marketing manager. And like when I told them about that, and they both were like, "Yeah, we knew that those who were well versed in the manga space would know how big of a deal that was." And I was like, "Yeah, it was because that was one." Like, yes, this is not the first time Seven Seas has picked up a Kodansha title, but this was a title that was created for as an entry for Young Magazine USA. That was Kodansha Japan's approach to, to appeal to mostly the US audience, right? Like with these titles and stuff where you can, we the audience, whoever can vote on the winners, which we did. So seeing that, Seven Seas pick that up, and that honestly, we kind of just thought all of the Young Magazine USA ones, if they're going to get like a license print here, they're going to be through, Kodansha US. We just assumed they would pick them up. But yeah, so Seven Seas picking up just surprised us.
Yeah, no. But yeah, like you said, it was just holy, and they got it. They were pretty excited to get it, and
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, hey, we worked our magic and we got it." So I'm
Yep.
like, "Cool, great." The last day,
Yeah, day four
day
was.
4. Go
I
ahead, same thing.
honestly, I don't think I would change any. Actually, no. I think the only thing is there was one panel you had told me to attend it once to get that experience, but that's kind of it. Um, and I mean, honestly, it was, it was fine. I did that, and it was cool. I was able because it was like the last day. They were like the booths were almost empty, so I was able to go through a lot more of the booths and things. But um, I think honestly, what went well there was just the game demos. Then I met with the Arc System Works game demos. That was cool. I also did the side games ones for the DLC for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I think, or Versus. I forgot which one it was, but did that towards the end as well. Uh, and I think, and I met with some people. I met with Jaden as well, who he does a lot of social media work for a lot of uh, a lot of different companies, manga publishers especially. But I know he's been doing a lot of Grand Archive. He's like one of their marketing. He's like their marketing uh, person and stuff. Really cool guy. Got to meet him in person. We chatted a while and everything, but other than that, I mean, it was really everything was kind of just dying down at that point. I wouldn't change anything, honestly, from that. I only had just like one panel, so that was kind of it. But what about for yourself for the last day?
Yeah. Um, for me, it this is where the funny panel happened. So, Tokyo Pop. Yeah, those lovely folks over there. Um, so they were there, they were just kinda, doing their own thing. They just perfectly fine. Everything was great.
Mhm.
until the very end. So for those that don't know, Tokyo Pop is trying to search up for investors on their thing. Now, quote, this is not an endorsement. This is not us giving you financial advice. This is just us telling you the news on what they're trying to do because this is what they're doing. They were pitching investment advice to con goers, and their, I guess, enticement, if you do, was a tote bag. Now, let me ask you something. You spent the money to get a
Oh,
hotel to AX. You spent the money to get a badge for AX. You spent money on food, drinks, spent thousands upon thousands of dollars in the exhibition hall for specific merch and con exclusive stuff. You spent hundreds upon thousands of dollars in Artist Alley. What makes you think these congoers are going to have the money to spend it on a company? That's what you're going to end it on? You can't finish Sengoku Yuko, but you can still license for manga, one. Two, be like a co-producer on an anime, which is like, and then not only that, you can't even offer an actual package. You're offering people a
yeah,
fucking tote bag.
yeah,
What? What? That is this. Jesus Christ. Like
yeah.
what? Anyways, moving on.
Funny.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I then got to go visit the Faku booth, which was really cool. I missed Jacob there because I wanted to meet up with Jacob in person. I couldn't go. And it was funny because by the time I left, he showed up. It was like, oh, we just barely missed each
Oh,
other. So
so honestly, if
I'm
I
gonna.
tried to go that day, if I had the wristband and tried to go in that day, I would have missed him too because he wasn't there.
He wasn't. It was like by the time I went, he wasn't there. But by the time I left, he was. Which
Gotcha.
was interesting. So then after that, I just kind of walked around Artist Alley, walked around the exhibit hall. Um, there was one specific piece of con merch that I wanted, and I only got because I was friends with someone else who had an extra of. So, shout out to the lovely folks over at Toho, keeping it
Oh
PG,
yeah. I was
keeping
waiting
it
for you to
PG.
talk about that one. Yeah.
So at the Toho booth, they were giving away these cute little tote bag gotchas, or it's a gotcha tote bag. So what it was a tiny little tote bag with a clip, and when you opened it, you got yourself a tote bag that was one of four designs. It was either My Hero Academia, uh, another anime that they had, I think it was Kaiju number 8,
Hmm.
um, Apothecary Diaries, and one other anime. Forgot which one.
Hmm.
And apparently they had the brilliant idea to give it all away on day one. So what did they do on days 2, 3, and 4? They decided to copy the ever so lovely sneaker
Yeah.
drops and sneakerhead stuff, where ooh, uh, we don't not going to tell you they're going to drop at random times of the day, and it's like, okay, what's the point of that? Let's be honest for a second here. If you really think about it, you spent all that money to get there. Are you and you're walking around, you're doing all these things. There is no way you're going to catch them at that thing. Mind you, I went to that booth every single day. And every time I went, they told me, we're not doing it right now. We're not doing it right now. We're not doing it right now. What?
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
found it, they got it, and everything. And I'm just like, dude, what are we doing, Toho? Like, listen, I get it. And go ahead, Winter. Say
Oh
the
yeah.
line.
So, because when we first found out, I leaned over. We get some distance. And I leaned over and I said, "Look, you guys are big in terms of for they Toho has Godzilla, right? Like they've always had Godzilla. Um, in the distribution space stuff, you're big, but you're an Anime Expo. So I'm like, and this is for anime. I know you big, but you ain't that big." And I was like, not you're not big enough to be doing random like sneaker drops, random drops like this. Yeah, so I leaned over to alerts. I said, "I know you big, but you ain't that big." And he just we've been using that term ever since for various stuff.
Yeah, no, it was like just the number of times that I went, it was just so frustrating. And as you said it perfect, you might think you're big, but you're not that big, bro. Like you're really not. Like so besides that, the end of the con, wrapping it up, give us your overall review of Anime Expo.
I liked it. It's a lot to take in. Overall, I do think that they have the typical convention problem where they're cramming so much in, even with all of the spaces that they have. Like all of this, the hotels, the stadiums, all of that they have, there's still a there's still not enough space. And I think the big part is, I think you had told me they added more company booths. They have like a first one hall and then a second hall at the bottom. They have another one that is like in a different hall, like different area. Um, it's just there's a lot. And I think in that case, their navigation needs to be better. If you're going to add more, your navigation needs to be better. And I say that because your app, like for example, I was trying to, like you had told me, Ed from Dimpa wanted to meet me, and I was going to try to meet him before, and I was going around the area of like the South Hall because it was going up around that, and it was actually they were in I think no, he was still in South Hall, right? But he was on the second floor. It was like Keita Hall. No, actually, no, he was Keita Hall, I guess, or some
It was the Kenti. So
Kenta Hall.
for
So yeah,
reference, for those that want to go to Anime Expo. If I remember right, let me go Anime
the South Hall was in
Expo
one part.
map. There's South Hall, Exhibition Hall,
Yeah,
West Hall, and then underneath was the Kentia Hall,
yeah.
if I remember correctly.
So I think Dempa was in the I think they were
And
in
they were
Kentia.
in the Kentia Hall because it was
Yeah.
where Artist Alley was.
Yeah, that's right. They were. It was on the other side. Yeah. So I guess because it wasn't, I don't know, I couldn't find them or something like that. But it was like they were just like, yeah, right below. And I was like, okay. Um, so like I know that was more okay, that was maybe more me. But I think that was one of the things was like it's a typical con thing of where they're adding more companies, so they're cramming everything else, and it's caused a lot of issues there. um I think that they honestly, I mean, but the boots and stuff I think were fine. I do think some of them should have been organized better, like all the Psy agent stuff should have been together. So Psy games, Psy pick, and then they had another one. They should have all been together. And I think that's more of a Psy agent one because like Katakawa did that. J Novel Club, Yim Press, Anime News Network, because for those who may not know, Katakawa is I think they're like a majority owner of Anime News Network. But yeah, they were all together in like the same area, like the whole same booth stuff. Crunchyroll, I think, was generally all together as well. So like with their stuff. So it was mostly just Psy Agent that did that. So it was kind of weird. But um I think the press industry lounge was cool. Um being there, I was able to, chill, to relax, to collect, to charge my phone, things. Uh I There's a lot for you to do. That was oh, you know what? That I'm sorry, I want to go on a little rant here. I saw some people had said online that there was nothing to do at Anime Expo. There's nothing to do. And I was like, are you kidding me? There was not enough. There was not enough time in the day, honestly, to do like all the things that if you want to do. There were things for you to do. Um, so I completely disagreed about that. Oh, maybe that was your first time here, but I'm like, but there was still so much to do, even stuff that you may not have any like passing interest. If you have the free time, sure, go and do it. Like that's the thing, you know. For the cosplayer stuff, I think it looked cool watching it. My only problem is was trying to navigate through so I didn't mess up their photos, but I'm pretty sure that I did on accident. But they were kind of everywhere. But you know, but many of them were they were cool. I think one or two I've actually seen on social media before, so I actually didn't know it was them. I passed through it, and I'm like, oh wait, okay. But well, yeah, they had gaming stuff. They had a lot of stuff for you to do. Another thing I think I would say that they should improve on is so there's this area that is inside the South Hall that's basically all the cosplayers just use that. Apparently that's not an actual like cosplay station, but everyone uses it as that. I don't know if Crunchyroll's in charge of Anime Expo. I think so. They should just designate that as an official station. Is it kind
No,
of
Crunchyroll's not in charge of Anime
oh,
Expo. I think
okay.
that's more of the I forget what they're. I think it's like the SPJ or
Oh, that's
something like
right. The
that. But
SPJ. Yeah,
yeah,
my bad. That's it.
something like that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think they should just make that. They should designate that like a spot. They should designate that as an official spot because it's just it people use it for that anyways, so you might as well just make it official. And honestly, I have not seen anyone get pissed at anyone else for like, you know, trying to navigate through. Because yes, you have to wade through a lot of the cosplayers posing and taking photos and stuff, but this is the way to you can get to other places. So you have to go through it. And honestly, I think they understand that, so it's not a big deal. Um, I think I don't think I can change the food prices, but I do think that they should have some places open up or stay at I think no, the other thing is luckily they're by like restaurants. I think next year I probably cuz I do kind of plan on going next year, going to a restaurant that's there instead of taking the food stalls. Um but yeah, like other than that, I think there was a lot for you to do. If you have there, and like honestly, for like a long time, I just think that the frustrating part with the press badge, that was like the biggest one. That was the biggest issue for me. They need to improve their badge process, um, and I especially with the press badges. Also, the other one was like going through the press badge thing is like you show 3 different security people your press badge before you get to the press lounge where then you have to you're by a bunch of people who are guarding it anyways, and you have to badge in there like with electronic thing, and then to you so then you can go into the lounge. So I'm like, why am I flashing my badge to like 4 other people before I have to badge in to get into the press lounge? It was like it was kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, granted, again, like I guess for context, the security's not going to 100% like no, but at the same time, it should be like, come on now, like we could maybe a better job
Yeah.
personally on like making it easy, making it like streamlined and everything else.
Yeah.
Um, I guess for me, again, I kind of have like the similar opinion as you do, where um, it's not bad, it's not terrible, it's not like, as you said, I don't agree that there was quote unquote nothing to do.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that that Anime Expo is more of a corporate con or a corpo con because compared to like some of the other smaller cons where it's more community based. If you're looking for more of that community stuff, you're not really gonna find it too much,
Mhm.
like too much. But if you don't mind it and it's like your first time going, I definitely and I think I said this before, but I highly recommend everyone to go to Anime Expo at least once if you're able.
If
It's always going to
yeah.
be there. It's always going to be a thing. And yes, there was some like crowd crushing. There was some not like necessarily crowd crushing, but like hiccups and traffic jams going in and out of the con and all everything like that. But I felt like it was worth it, given granted we went as press slash industry. This is not us speaking from a regular con goer, but I feel like you guys have more of an advantage than we do because you don't really have any obligations to go anywhere. You can go
Hmm.
and explore the entire exhibitor hall without any care in the world, and you can come and go as you please. Maybe you might have a panel or two that you want to visit, but that's it. You know? But
Yeah.
maybe I'm just speaking like a privileged person.
Oh,
I
the
guess
other
now it's
thing
time.
I
Yes,
wanted
go
to
ahead. Go
mention
ahead.
is like this is directed to Crunchyroll, which is for some of these screeners, title them what they are, right? Like you know, preview of Tanya the Evil, season 2, season 2 premiere or something like that. Because the Cleavitus season 2 panel, it wasn't, I mean, they watched, I think they did watch the sneak peek cuz my partner went to that. Um and they did do a sneak peek of it and or something, and but how Crunchyroll named it was like, you know, I woke up in this kind of blah blah blah. The Cleavitus, directors panel or whatever. And I'm like, you didn't need to do all of that before. You could have just said Cleavitus season 2 directors panel or something like that. Um they because yeah, Cleavitus, they got it kind of got screwed by that naming by Crunchyroll. The other one is Hanakimi that got screwed. They got really screwed by it, which was like, he's like, I woke up in in an all boys school and I'm a girl. Kind of is something like that. And it's Hanakimi season 2 premiere, something like, or Hanakimi like developer, something panel or whatever. And from I saw that some people, there was someone who went there and it was like no one there in that panel, and there was like hardly anyone there, and people were like, "Wait, that was for Hanakimi and talk about season 2?" And they're like, "I didn't know that because the title just made it sound like some like random dumb isekai." And I looked at the title of the, not, I say title, I mean title of the panel, and I looked at the title. I was like, "Yeah, what is this?" Like what? Like it's actually cut off that it's actually the Hanakimi panel. If you're looking at the app or whatever, like it's hardly there. And I'm like, yeah. And the same thing happened to Cleavitus season 2. And I'm like, y'all need to stop. Just call it what it is, because you have fans of these things who don't know this is what it's called. They were looking for the Hanakimi panel, and actually it was called this whole thing. So they never saw it. So they missed it. Same thing with Cleavitus, and so they need to. So I say it's Crunchyroll, and I say this because they were Crunchyroll Productions or Crunchyroll sponsor or hosting them or whatever. They need to stop that. They need to just call,
Yeah.
Hanakimi season 2 studio panel or something like that. Cleavitus season 2 directors panel. Just call it that. You have the people there. You don't have to try to be cute with it, because you trying to be cute with it is causing people who are fans of these works to miss it because they think it's some random dumb isekai that you're picking up. Like I'm not exaggerating. A lot of people thought that for the Hanakimi panel. Honestly, I haven't seen anyone really talk about the Cleavitus one. I had made a mention about it, but more people about the Hanakimi panel were talking about that. But that was just, I'm sorry, that was a rant I had to go on because
No,
um,
no,
there was a
I feel
lot
like
of, especially the Cleavitus one. There
that
was a
was
lot of good information on that. I just need to like review the documentation. I need to write up the article for it. But there was a lot of cool information on that.
right. But no, but you're 100% right that like the name scheme for some of these panels, especially like the Crunchyroll ones, I don't know if they did it for like I don't think it was done on purpose, but I do feel like it was
I don't think it was done with malicious intent. It was done to be
Right, because
cute to bring people in, but then it
but
was a
it was just not.
it didn't work.
No,
No.
it didn't work out. No, it did not. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But
Yeah.
for me, again, as always, as I say, um, I think it was definitely worth going. It was definitely worth seeing my friends, getting to meet new people, new exciting opportunities for behind the manga. Right.
Hmm.
You should definitely
Same.
go
Yeah.
once as you can. Um, I guess my fun question would be, how much water did you drink at Anime Expo
Probably 32 ounces. I'm
throughout
guessing.
the whole
The
for the
whole con.
whole entire
I don't know. I was thinking for that
it
one
was
day.
but it was for the whole con. You drink a lot,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I drank a lot. I could have drank a lot more. I probably should have, but I mean, but yeah, no, it was because there's a lot of walking. Um, and I actually was funny because I was watching Gigux video about Anime Expo, and he was even sweating a bit on day one. And I'm like, okay, so I don't think it was just me who was sweating a lot. I mean, of course, he's way skinnier than me and stuff, but like he was even sweating and just going into the con and stuff. And I'm like, I think it's just the number of people there and the all the heat coming up, because people give off heat. So all of that and all the walking, that's it just, caused you to, lose a lot of water and things. But yeah, that was I know I drank a lot of water like that during Anime Expo.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the smell?
I think it was I thought probably 7 in terms
Okay.
of it wasn't too bad. And honestly, because one of the things I did was because I was sweating a bunch, right? So I had like a little mini. I bought a bunch of deodorants at the hotel and stuff. I
Mhm.
had one. I had one in my bag, and so when I was sweating a bunch, I was like, okay, I'm gonna, cool down, and then just put, just reapply deodorant. I don't even know if I was like smelly or anything, but I'm like, I'm not gonna risk it. So, I just kept reapplying deodorant and stuff. But at least around that, I think I mostly just got the smell at the exhibition. Sorry, the artist alley. I think it was mostly that's where I smelled where I like, could smell, stuff. Not me, but just like the con smell. So it was mostly that one. So that's why I say 7.
Okay. Next question. How much money did you spend at Anime Expo
Like on merch and stuff
on
or
merch
just
and like in overall? How much money did you spend?
what about for like food and stuff? Like, does that count or no?
That too. Yes. Yes. This is us.
Uh Probably around I'd say probably around 350 because I bought a bunch of acrylics and that was like I think that was like 260 close to 300 260 270 and then all of like the merch and then I bought my partner um some stuff from the Psy Games booth. It was all of the Shadowverse acrylics because I know she plays it. So I was like, oh, okay, let me buy the acrylics before they sold out. They didn't because
Oh.
everyone was going for Uma Musume and Grand Blue, mostly all Uma Musume. No one was going for Shadowverse, so I was fine. But just to be safe, I got them anyways. So it was that plus the food. It was about
Okay.
I guess 350, 360.
All right. Hear me out.
Okay.
Was there a purchase where you saw the price, you knew how much money you had, but you just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm buying it.
No,
No.
no, actually
Okay.
no.
So you kept it under control then? You didn't splurge on anything?
Well, the acrylics were my splurge, but I didn't think of
Okay.
it like I don't care, fuck it. I actually didn't put a limit for how much I was gonna spend at AX, to be honest with you. Because honestly, I was wanting to get something, but it was just I don't know what. And then I'm like, oh, it's all these acrylics, and like, okay, these are really cool, like all these video game acrylics. So I got them, but I didn't have like, okay, I'm not gonna spend any more than like $300 or $200 or something like that. I didn't put a limit on myself.
At Anime Expo, which person were you the most surprised at meeting?
Yoshihiro Watanabe, actually,
Hmm.
for Studio Orange, who did Trigun, Stargate was yeah, Trigun Stargaze
Mhm.
and stuff. It was actually him, and it wasn't even like it was funny because I was talking to Varun of Manga Mavericks, and we were chatting because he just wanted to pick my brain, and we talked about some stuff. And while we were talking, Yoshihiro Watanabe comes in, and Varun says he introduces me to him and stuff, and it was like, oh hey, and we were talking, and I like he's like, yeah, I'm like, I remember seeing the name. Um, I forgot the first name, but I remember seeing the name. He's like, "Oh, for Studio Orange." I was like, "Oh yeah, um, Trigun Stargaze and everything like that." And we were just chatting, and honestly, it wasn't really about like I didn't really pick his brain on like a studio about the anime industry stuff like that. It was more of like just kind of random stuff. He was like, "Hey, so what do you think of the con?" And he found out it was the first time. I was like, "Oh," and I was talking about. It. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I agree." And then so I told him, I asked it like, "Hey, I just want your perspective on Macross." And because I'm a Gundam fan, and what can you tell me your own words, for Macross and what why is a Macross appealing? And I just want to get his thoughts about it. And he told me, and I'm like, okay, I want to take that mindset when I start watching it. And he tried to get me to start like, hey, if you want to do you remember love? Because they're doing this thing. I was like, at the panel, I was like, I don't. I'm like, I want to start with the other one. He's like, you could start at any point. He's like, you could do Frontier. Uh, he's like, that's a more recent one. I was like, okay. But I'm like, I want to do the original so that I can do Remember Love. And he's like, okay, fair. Um, and then we talked about Dragon Quest and everything, and I was like, he was like, yeah, it was like the same thing again, and so he was like, yeah, Dragon Quest, you have to think of yourself as you are self-inserting. You are role playing this character, however you want to do it, rather than Final Fantasy, which is more of a narrative driven story. And this is like when I talk about for Dragon Quest, I'm talking about for Dragon Quest, like the first three. It's like, no, these are you self insert, you role play as these characters. And it's honestly, think of it, it's closer to Western European RPGs, Western RPGs such as Divinity: Original Sin. If you create a original character, or Baldur's Gate, or those kind of games, right? Dragon Age, Mass Effect, where you create a character, you role play as that character, make decisions, what have you. You may not be able to make too many decisions in the old Dragon Quest games, but you role play that character. So I was like, okay, these are great perspectives. And then we were talking about for food a bit, and he talked about for Artist Alley and things. And then he left. And so I got his card and everything. It was a really cool meeting him. It was someone I did not expect to meet there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. And you know what? Hey, if you're pressed or anything like that, you never know who you're gonna meet.
Hmm.
I think with that, do you have any questions for me?
Okay, I think I do, but I first have a story for you, and I told you I was going to tell you this story when we uh
Mm,
recorded.
yes. Go ahead.
So I heard this is from my partner. She had told me about it because there was one point that she went back before I did, and so she was okay. So she heard this from this person, this woman, and she's a cosplayer. This woman is a cosplayer who my partner heard this from. And because a cosplayer sat with my partner on the shuttles or whatever. And so basically what happened to the cosplayer is, so she had like her bags of merch, I guess, of stuff that she bought, her staff. I don't know what cosplay it was. I straight up don't know. My partner didn't know either. But it's something. But it had a staff. It was a lot of just a lot of stuff around. And she was trying to juggle a lot of stuff, whatever. So this guy comes up to her, I guess, who's also getting on the shuttle and stuff, and he said, hey, can I, he just hits on her, right? Just, hey, can I get your number? And she was like, I don't give my number out to people I don't know at conventions, which for, the single people out there, that is a great rule. That's a really good rule. Then he says, oh, can I add you to my Discord, my private Discord server? And I'm just like, if she won't, I'm just thinking when I'm hearing this story, I'm like, if she won't give you her phone number, then I don't think she's going to join your Discord. But okay. So then she's like, oh, my phone's dead. Right. So at this point, you would think to take the hint, right? Just, take the hint. She's not interested. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, then he says, "That's okay. I have a battery pack that you can use
Oh
to charge your phone."
my
And she was
god.
like, and she was like, and so she that's when getting on the shuttle, whatever, she meets she sees my partner. She's like, "Hey, can I sit next to you?" And my partner's like, "Yeah, sure." And so she was like, and that's what she told my partner the story. And she was like, thank you for letting me sit next to you because I don't know if I could, she didn't know if he was going to stop, like if, he was going to sit next to her, if she just picked like an empty seat.
Right.
Yeah. If he would just sit next to her, to try to continue, to continue getting her number or,
Right.
hitting on her and stuff. So I was like, oh, no way. And I was just thinking, first off, if you were interested in her, and you saw her, she was struggling with her stuff, like, she was apparently, from what I gather, she was struggling with her stuff so things don't fall, like bags and all this stuff. Why didn't you try to help? Just say, excuse me, ma'am, can I help, can I carry one of your things, one of your bags, stuff like that, to help you get rearranged? If she says no to that, okay, that's fine. But just offer to help, like, I see you're struggling or trying to manage stuff. Do you want me to hold something while you, situate yourself? Like, just do that. That will score you points. I'm sorry, but you coming up to, she's struggling, trying to manage things, and you coming up say, "Hey, can I get your phone number?" She's not gonna. First off, she's gonna be like, "What?" Because she's focused on, trying to juggle, trying to manage stuff. But then it's like, you see I'm like struggling here, and the first thing you're trying to do is get my phone number. No, you know. And then if she won't give you her phone number, then, hey, I'm like, okay, then just back off. That's okay. You tried, it didn't work out. The don't continue. You don't do the Discord thing. Like, don't continue. But yeah, so that was a story I meant to tell you. I was waiting until this to tell you.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, like that's just ridiculous, and I can't even believe because I saw a couple other stories on Twitter where there was a
Mhm.
guy that was being weird, that was stalking, and they got their phone smashed, which thank God, good. But
Oh
still, it was
yeah,
like,
that was
what
one
the
at
heck?
night. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was just ridiculous. So I'm sorry that that person has gotten that experience, but also it's kind of like to the dude, listen, like you said before, I don't know if I mean I can't say you can't find love everywhere, but I'm gonna be keep it a butt with you. I really don't think you're gonna find the love of your life at a con of all places. Number one, and then number two, let's say you did. I would rather much go to like like a bar or like a um like that speed friending bullshit that apparently nobody went to, but that was just
Well,
mostly
okay, no,
dudes.
all guys went to, but
Oh yeah.
no
Or
women went to it, and then the guys got upset because they were blaming the Love in Deep Space. Um,
but that was a
they
whole like Jesus
Okay,
Christ,
I'll
that's
I'll
just
give a
funny as fuck.
funny, kind of funny story about that, the Love in Deep Space one. I mean, okay, I'll keep it a buck because it's gonna make me look stupid, but it'll be funny. I legit thought those were animatronics. Like when we first walked
Oh
past it,
my
I thought they
god,
were
I'm
animatronics, and I
dead.
was like, "Man, Love and D Space like paid absolute top dollar for that." But okay,
I'm
no,
dead.
it makes me look so dumb. But okay, to add, I think it was a couple days later, I went through the West Hall and we saw the Brown Dust 2. I thought those were also animatronic. I
Oh my
legit thought they
god,
were
bro.
also animatronic. And then I was like, man, it's like, man, these gotcha game like ones are really paying absolute top dollar. But I mean, they can afford it. And I walked past the Brown Dust 2 one because it was uh I think met back up with you and I was we were walking back and I when I walked past it again, I'm like, oh, those aren't animatronics. And then in my head, it was like, oh, the Love and D Space ones aren't animatronics either. Those are real people. And I'm just, I was like, oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was like it was funny because I don't know why people were upset about the Love and Deep Space one because like there were a bunch of guys at the Brown Dust one, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I don't know why there were people that were upset about it. I'm like they had those kind of games for women there. They had ones for guys there, for men there. I'm like, hey, it was for they had stuff for everyone. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. And I mean, the Love and Deep Space one, it looked nice. It was all like decked out and stuff like that. It looked
Right.
nice. Like the Jurassic Park thing, spare no expense, and they didn't. Um, same with same with Brown Dust. Brown Dust 2, spare no expense.
Yeah.
Same with also the infield, Arknight infields or something, or Wuthering Waves kind of did, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
no, the the gotcha ones that appealed to the mobile ones that appeal to people, um, whether it's ones that appeal to men or ones that appeal to women, oh, they went all out. They went all out, and I mean, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, they were cool. Oh yeah, questions for
Wrap it
you.
all up. Yes, questions for me. What you got for me?
All right, I think for this one, how did it feel not really doing the networking and just strictly sticking with the booths, the artist alley, things like that.
Night and day difference. Like, listen, yes, if you're trying to like get into space or whatever, not, I do recommend like going through the whole. Okay, it's time to network and it's time to figure something out and all this other stuff. Which I mean, yeah, I mean that
Hmm.
is there for you to do, but I would highly recommend. I always say this to everyone that I go to: take time for yourself. Why? Because you will never know when it'll be the first time you go something or the last time you do something. You know?
Hmm.
It's one of those things where you don't know, and hey, who knows? It'll show up and like shit. Like I met people from, Kodansha, Yen Press, Viz, um, Tokyo Pop, all these different Japanese companies, just by, being there at the right time, right place, and networking. But you have to find that balance that's best for you.
Hmm.
Every outlet's going to be different. Every outlet's going to be whatever. So I'm glad that this year I think I found a good balance before, because I remember Con one was me going panels, 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 panels. Second year was okay. I kind of want to balance some panels, want to balance some um, interviews, and then maybe some con stuff. And then this year was no, we're going to balance con stuff, interviews, and panels.
Hmm.
And I think we had a good experience. So
Okay. I guess if you would do anything different next year, what would it be?
I would not take the word of some of these people that reached out for us to interview.
Hmm.
and actually follow up on some of these things, because there was a couple of things where I originally thought, oh,
Yeah.
so there was a specific company that reached out to us to do an interview for a game. I said, okay, we can do that. Pretty easy, no issues, no problems. But here's the thing: they told me, okay, you are going to interview the um like some head of the person who did this game. I said, okay, I can do that. When I went and researched questions for him, they gave me the wrong title for the dude. And then in addition to that, when I thought my questions were ready and everything good to go, I sat down and there was a complete second person there that was never once told to me. I was
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? How the fuck? So I had to come up with questions on the spot, which it wasn't terrible, but it would have been nice to know if that person was actually going to be there or not, so that I could actually be fucking prepared for that whole thing. You know, like that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair for me to ask, and I think that's pretty fair for me to request. But no, did that happen? No. So we'll see how the interview is. I mean, I personally was kind of like iffy on that review on that interview, but I mean, again, who knows? Maybe it is salvageable. We have plenty of backlog to go through. So once I do get to it, we'll take a look and see. Kind of just hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes through and everything works out okay. Good
Hmm.
interview, but we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I think that is our Anime Expo coverage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So thank you, Winter, for getting in the hot seat this time around. And
No, it's
then next
fun.
year, yeah, the next year we'll kind of go back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
With that, let's go ahead and just plug our socials and take it away.
All right.
Go ahead, starting with you.
Sure. You can find me at WinterVenom91 on Twitter and Blue Sky. Um, yeah. So on Twitter, it's more kind of all around different things cover, but mostly anime, manga, uh, yeah, anime and manga stuff. On Blue Sky, it's some of that, but less of that, more of gaming. So right now I'm still going through Super Robot Wars Y. I have I bought like all the DLC and stuff, that the anniversary DLC and all of this. And so I'm still going through the main story, but pretty soon I'll get into the anniversary content, which is the post main story. And so that's where you do stuff with that's I think they're like which from Mercury Focus. So um that's going to be that's going to be interesting once I hit that. And yeah, other than that, and I also talk about, try to cover some, or at least comment on stuff in the gaming industry, that but yeah, that's it on my side.
So for me, you can find me at MangaAlerts on all social media platforms: Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and everywhere else. You can find me also at Behind the Manga, in which you can keep up to date on any interviews, reviews, panel transcription, or breaking news stuff like we recently did with the Manga Million stuff, which that was a pretty fun piece to help piece together and investigate and post
Hmm.
our findings, which was really cool to do. Check that out. We might have an update on that, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, and then we are going to Anime NYC, so do expect some coverage from that as well too. And then I think that's like the last con behind the manga or me are going to go to, because I think after that it's just New York Comic Con, and I don't typically go to those. So yeah. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in with us for another episode, and
Oh,
stay
and
tuned for
by
the
the
next
way,
one.
make sure to
Yes.
catch for Behind the Manga, like you said, on website, and we're also on Blue Sky and Twitter. Yeah. And like you said,
Yes.
we're going to have um slowly go through the some of the panel stuff that we did at Anime Expo and then also Otakon. So we'll be having interviews for Otakon, panels for Anime Expo. So we'll have those on the docket alongside reviews. So yeah, look forward to all
There
of
you
that.
go. And so with that, that's it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to us, and we will catch you in the next one.
All right, see you.
Deuces.